Hi, you're watching Construction Gaming and welcome to Celtic City on Cities Skylines. This is a brand new series from me in which I'll be building a city which is based on the rather marvellous map by Mr. Miyagi, which is called Celtic Shores. So I have named the city that I will be building Celtic City. This is going to be a little bit different to what I usually do. My previous series over the past year or so have been based on real life locations. The series that I'm working on at the minute, which is my Liverpool 1-to-1, is, as the name suggests, a 1-to-1 recreation of Liverpool. This is going to be a bit more fun, free, creative, I hope anyway. Just basically something different. I found that the Liverpool series that I'm working on at the minute, while it's fun in its own way, it can be challenging and it can sometimes get a bit overwhelming, especially trying to recreate in not hugely detailed, but just to create the look and the feel of some areas is a challenge. So I wanted to do this series just so I've got a bit more freedom just to do what I want and just to see what I can create when basically there's no boundaries. The only boundary or challenge that there is for this is to see how big of a city I can build before my computer decides it doesn't want to play anymore. I reckon once we get down to about 10 FPS, then the game is pretty unplayable and the city would have been finished. Don't know when that's going to be, but it'll be challenging. It'll be good to see where we can get up to. I have population rebalance on, so population isn't going to grow as quickly to begin with. Basically the houses only have one family in, which is about 5 people, rather than about 20 people and 4 families. But when you start getting to high density, then the buildings really do start to fill up, so I believe, and you really do have to start planning your city out properly, which is going to be fun and interesting, I hope. Take a quick look around the map, which is beautiful, I think is the correct word for this. It really is a nice map. I wish I had half as much skill as Mr. Miyagi. It's probably one of the reasons that I've chosen not to build my own map this time, because I tend to kind of fall into my own comfort zone and build something which is based on a real life location. This might be, but for this I am basically just going to be completely free and creative. Have I set the right lot? Yep. So I am using the realistic European theme with the temperate base theme, and I'm using the Claria LUT by Creative DEX. Going for, I don't want it to be ultra realistic, but at the same time I want it to look semi-realistic lighting, but I also want it to look quite vibrant as well, because I know the cities that I build, I tend to go for the European look with a realistic LUT and base theme, and it's not as vibrant, it doesn't pop as much as this particular theme and LUT does. I think it looks quite nice. It's not a vanilla series. I will be using mods and assets. The only limitations I have are I won't be using unlimited money. I will be unlocking cells as we go. I have all 90 unlocked. I've got the fog toggled off and I've got free camera, but as far as the squares go, I'll have to unlock them and buy them as we go, so I won't be cheating in that respect. I have unlimited ore and stone, or an oil. Bit of a cheat, I know, but I just find that if you've spent time crafting a nice looking quarry or oil refinery and then all of a sudden your resources have run out, I just find that a bit frustrating, and they do run out, I find, particularly quickly as well. So that's the only reason I'm using that particular, let's call it a cheat. Otherwise, I will be playing the game as normal. Before I went on my rather long 2-month break, I did upgrade the RAM to 24 gig, so I've got a bit more room to play around with regards to mods and assets. So if there's any that take my fancy, I can just download them. I'm loading about, with all the DLC and the mods that I've got at the minute, I'm loading about 14 gig. So I've got 10 gigs to play with, which is not too bad. And obviously I want a bit of a buffer in there so my computer just doesn't die altogether. I'll be playing around with some themes, districts. I want it to look European-esque, but I don't want to be completely confined to only looking European. I've got some terraced houses which I've kind of kept over from the Liverpool 1-to-1 build, and I'll create a district around those. And there's some other interesting modern but all European looking buildings that I like the look of, which I will be adding as we go along. In this episode I want to get, well, I've already recorded the time-lapse footage of me getting the city up to 3,000. The original intention was 5, but I forgot I had population rebalance, whatever the mod is called. So basically when you start with low density residential, the city doesn't grow as fast, but I do manage to get up to 3,000, from 0 to 3,000 in the 10-minute time lapse, which constitutes 40 minutes of gameplay. So it's not the most attractive looking city to start with, but it's just a battery. It just starts earning me income so I can start growing the city and then start making the city look the way I want it to look. What I will do, and what I generally do in my playthroughs, is I build a city to about 10,000, which looks crap, and then as the city expands I'll come along, demolish the area and start a regeneration process to make it look a bit more attractive in the future. So that's the new series. I haven't got a particular date, but I do want to do it weekly. I know I've had a 2-month long break, but I do want to produce videos on a weekly basis. Transport Fever, my West Coast Challenge dropped yesterday. Hopefully get that weekly again. This may be weekly to begin with Liverpool, possibly weekly, but it might just be as and when I have the drive to build it. I'm not getting rid of Liverpool, I'm not cancelling it, but I just want something a bit more creative and fun to get on with, and hopefully that will spur me on to then get on with Liverpool and get that building as I go along. So that's where we're up to. I will start the time lapse now. Its usual format, 10 minutes, which constitutes 40 minutes of gameplay. That'll be hopefully the regular sort of format, and I will play that now.